Hello, everybody. This is Linda Davides, owner and founder of healingsonthego.com. I'm a psychic clairvoyant medium, certified healer, Reiki healer, author of my book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light. And I have a whole bunch of services. You can find me at healingsonthego.com. I would like to introduce my very special guest. She's also a psychic clairvoyant medium. Her name is Jocelyn Paris to the show. Welcome.
Oh, you're too cute. Thank you for having me.
Besides me, she's the only one I recommend. I'm just kidding. Me and Jazzy are friends for many, many years, and she's super accurate. You are
Thank you.
amazing, Jazz, really. And she has her natural instinct. She does a lot of stuff too. She's amazing. And one of them is a paranormal investigator, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about spiritual attachments, and you would know more because you went to so many houses. How many houses have you done, like Ghostbusters?
Oh gosh, I guess probably 40 or so
Wow,
over the
wow,
years.
wow.
Some of them several times. Actually, had one house that we did twice, and it had two different owners each time. A different owner each time.
And you know, the number one question everyone asks is, do all spirits leave when you do a house clearing? I don't think so, but you respond.
No, I don't think so either, because I think some of them know that they're welcome and that they can stay. I think most house clearings are for the negative
Right.
spirits only, anyway. And there's always going to be spirits there whether you clear it or not. Some of them are just very docile and quiet and stay in the shadows. So no, they don't. It doesn't clear out all of them.
Exactly. I just did a house clearing, long distance one. So for those that don't know, I do space clearings remotely too, and I feel it just as much as I would in person. And she had a spirit that was very angry. So she told me that she's gonna sit there and talk to it. I said, "Well, then you're just welcoming it, right?" It's like me
Yeah,
being a visitor.
yeah. If you're going to talk to, well, I mean, if she could talk to it and talk it down from anger or negative, that would be one thing. Then she could see it off if she knew what she was doing, I guess. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're right. You're just inviting it to stay. You know, you don't tell somebody leave and then offer them coffee.
That's what I said. I said that if I was a ghost, I'd probably stay because she's such a sweetheart. I'd be like, "Well, you're
Oh,
some nice company."
yeah, there you go. You want them to stay, you want them to go, you got to let me know.
Exactly. So I always call on to the house guardians. When you enter a house, do you do like a spiritual, protection, or like people want to know?
Most definitely. Not just because of the ghost, but the family energy that's in there. The dynamics may not be healthy, and you don't want that energy attached to you. But particularly when we did it as a team and not just one or two of us going in to do a house clearing, we would always say the Our Father before we entered. And then, of course, we would say a St. Michael's prayer if we thought it was going to be ugly. And then, of course, we would always say a prayer of thanks. Thank you for protecting us and guarding us and letting your spirits know you can't follow us home.
Exactly, exactly. And a quick hello to Anne. Welcome, Anne. She says, "Hi, Linda and Jazz."
Well, hello, Miss Ann.
So, spirits attach also to objects,
Yes.
cabinets. I have a lot of people that like doing thrift shopping, and those exactly, that's what I say. But then I'm like, I can't really tell you what to do, but you're just buying a
Right.
spirit with it.
Yeah. You might as well buy us a haunted doll and bring it home sometimes. And that's a perfect example of a house that we did once. The lady had all kinds of things happening, and quite a few unexplainables happened while we were there. And we went into the garage and started looking around at all this awesome photography set up. And then we realized she had boxes upon boxes of old antiquated photos that she was collecting at sales and antique shops. So these are other people's families and other spirits that she was bringing into her house. And you
Wow.
wonder why you got things going on. She didn't know anything about how to cleanse the items and, clear them before she brought them in, but she just brought in a whole bunch of people.
Exactly. And then they're like, well, why are things happening? Well, there you go. That's what you did.
That's
And
it.
yeah, and you just can't, like some people love to buy secondhand clothes. I said, I've been really, broke, but that's one thing I would not do because you don't know if someone was sick in those clothes, you're picking up their energy, or if they passed away in those.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think sometimes I'm too sensitive, and so with all due respect, I don't judge people if they want to shop there or
Right,
need to shop there. But
right.
I am too sensitive. I get overwhelmed when I walk into resale shops, and um, now I'm all about buying things and then redoing them, making them something different, but not very often. But I do. I get overwhelmed with the energy that's in there because it always has a downtrodden feeling for me. Um, but
Exactly.
some people, it doesn't bother.
Exactly, and they're lucky, but we're ultra sensitive. We can pick up a lot of stuff. That's the
Yeah,
thing. We'd feel someone getting a headache or something off it.
every time. And then you're like, is this my headache or?
Yeah, like today, I was doing a healing for my mom. Then I'm like, oh, great, now I have one, but it's all right. We'll just clear it
Yeah,
out.
I don't claim it. I don't claim it.
Yeah, exactly. Get lost.
Exactly.
So a friend of mine, she bought a cabinet and then she got it from a secondhand store. And she told me that she keeps seeing black shadows. I say either get rid of it or get it cleansed. But I think, I told her get rid of it. Once she got rid of it, completely left. So everything
Yes,
energetic imprints.
that's exactly right. We did a house one time, and the family that lived there was having all kinds of issues, and they were fortunate enough that the attic was big enough that the mama of the house could make it into her sewing room. Well, there was this big armoire in there, and as soon as I saw the armoire, you could feel that static, woolly feeling. It was a very heavy, almost itchy feeling. And I said, with all due respect, you need to get rid of that armoire. And she said, that belongs to our renter,
Oh,
the guy that was renting them the house.
oh
I
wow.
don't know how you're going to do it, but if you want a calmer house, you need to get rid of that thing because it was holding on to whatever spirit, and the spirit didn't like them being in there. And what I have found throughout the years is that the particularly old furniture,
Yeah.
you have to remember back in the day, you didn't just go out and buy furniture. You got furniture that was handed down to you generation after generation. It wasn't expendable like it is now. So they were very attached to that because this would be grandma's piece or great grandfather's piece. And so there's a lot of emotion invested
Yeah.
in those pieces, and they were very valuable pieces. You didn't have closets, you had armoires.
Right.
And so it only makes sense that they became somewhat emotionally attached to them. And for whatever reasons, even after they pass, some of them will feel strong enough to stick around and protect that piece. I don't know how to separate them other than to try to cleanse it, but I don't know that that would be permanent.
That's true because they have a lot of cords to it. They hold on to it, especially if they died. I feel that they stick onto their stuff. They're like, get off.
Yeah, it's still mine. I may be dead, but it's mine.
Exactly. And they say that the spirits will cling on to their bodies. They still, are attached to their bodies, like of course at the cemeteries and stuff.
Particularly those of vanity, people that are
Unfortunately.
very vain or were very vain. Yeah, they
And
do that.
they told me, they said every house has a spirit. It depends if they're welcomed or not, depending on the energy. What is it going to attract? if it's something negative, and there's always cleansings and happiness, it's gonna not really be connected, and it'll just go away. Is what they told me. But if it looks creepy, and it'll attract what it looks like, creepy.
Sure.
Yeah,
Very
everyone.
much so. And vice versa. Vice versa. If the energy is creepy, then the people tend to feed into that. Gosh, how do I say it? They tend to feed into that visually too. You see what I mean? They quit taking care of their yard. They quit. Well, normally they would have taken care of it. If the house is giving out a bad vibe, then they quit taking care of it as well. Does that
Exactly.
make sense?
It's true. Yeah, yeah. And everyone likes the creepy stuff. So do I. But also, they just there's just certain things that you don't want to pull in.
That's right. A little bit of what's that noise and how'd that get moved is fun, but beyond that, I
And you
always say I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Just leave me your message, but I don't want to see you. I'll be scared out of my skin. I've seen shadows, but I've never seen. If I have seen an apparition, I did not know it was an apparition.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You know what's so freaky? Before I we came on live, so I brought my daughter to the park, and I saw a swing. No one's on it. Just go, okay. She's like, "Well, someone just jumped off." I go, "No, there's a spirit there. You can
There's
see
a
it swinging like normal." I'm like,
yes.
"How many times is it gonna go back and forth?" Oh my god.
Don't sit on that swing.
Yeah, it was creepy. Like, okay, when you jump off, eventually it dies down. This one's like on
Right.
a roll.
It kept the momentum.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's scary.
It can be. And, as I always tell people too, when you watch paranormal shows, they're great. I mean, because they play the EVP for you over and over and over. And, but in real life, that happens in a split second. And we are all programmed to be practical first. So we second guess ourselves immediately. Whereas on television, you get to watch it, it's filmed, and you get to watch it over and over. In real life, when that door slammed, it, what do? You follow what I mean? And
Yeah,
so by seeing something like that in real life, your mind's trying to rationalize why is it moving, but you and I both know the other answer to that. So
exactly. And I told my daughter, I go, trust me, that ain't just someone that jumped off. There's someone sitting on it. I didn't want to freak her out too much because she loves the
right.
swings.
Well,
It
wait till
was
she
crazy.
starts being able to see them, then that'll be even more fun.
Yeah, now she sees the dark ones, but she hasn't seen them in a while. I think they gave her a little break because she started getting really scared. I was like, don't be scared. It's
Oh,
just
good.
energy, and it's different dimensions you're picking up on.
Sure.
So we have to say
Sure.
it in a sweet coded way.
Right. Right. Oh,
Yeah,
it's just some ghost, wayward ghost. Don't worry about it.
that's so funny. I started seeing them very young, and I would see like the head only, or up to the chest, little parts of it. I would never see the whole body. I would see like a head floating, or by by the chest or something like that. And I used
That's
to see
odd.
it super clear. I hated it. I used to say, "Please, God, take it away, take it away."
Wow. Did they speak to you?
Yeah, in a negative way, in a
Oh,
very negative way. That's all I could say.
so that's why they were presenting themselves to you in a distorted manner,
Right.
to come across creepier.
Yeah. Me and Maria would see them together, my twin sister, for those who don't know, and
Yeah.
we were on a roll. So I was like, if one of us are crazy, then we both are, because we're both seeing it at the same time.
Yeah.
And my mother,
Exactly.
she used to always bring us to the priest and get blessed that we both, seeing these crazy things. She's like, "You poor things." So every Wednesday, I was under the robe and the priest blessing me and saying, "Oh my God."
I wish there was a picture of that.
And I'm looking for my
Uh,
book. That's why I wrote the book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light. It's so funny. I always have it here and it vanished. But yeah, it's on my site,
Interesting.
healingsonthego.com. And it talks about my whole journey. Yeah, crazy.
Golly.
Did you see them? What age
Um,
did you see them?
I'm
The
sorry.
spirit. What age did you start seeing spirits?
Um, well, I wanted to touch base on the whole house thing, and I think we talked about this the last time. I had just read it in a book, and it's amazing how spirit works with you because you don't know what you're going to encounter when you walk. Well, as an intuitive, I didn't want them to tell me anything. Don't tell me where it's at. Don't tell me if it's one story, two story. And so that way I'm going in there cold. I have no preconceived notions. And however, this one investigation before we went on it, I had picked up a psychic book and read it. And it was the first time I ever read about clutter and the little icky clutter creatures, the creatures that the clutter makes, right? And creepy crawlers, that's what we call them. But so I knew immediately when we walked into these people's home, which, by the way, was an old funeral home converted into two houses.
Oh,
So that
wow.
alone, yeah, that alone was creepy. Um, but with all due respect, they were very hoarded. They had piles everywhere of just stuff, stuff that you don't want to throw away, but you don't have a place for it. And it's hard to tell your client you've got to clean up. With all due respect, you've got to clean up because you've got all this stagnant energy sitting everywhere, and it didn't help that she was also, I guess the proper word is an invalid. She was stuck in a wheelchair, and so it's just like that, like we were saying earlier, that energy just kept pulling her down and down, and then it was making it worse in the house. And so I always tell people, you don't have to get rid of your clutter if you don't want to throw it away, but keep it moving.
Yeah,
Keep that
exactly.
laundry pile moving around the house, whatever you have to do. But you don't want that stagnant energy either. It's not good for living, but it's also not good because things tend to kind of like how mold grows on bread you forgot about. That's exactly what happens with clutter.
Exactly. And I heard that the spirits love to hide in back of those things. So they love lots of messes because they hide in back of them.
Yeah, and it,
This,
it creates like a soulless creature. I mean, it's scary as hell, but it's a soulless creature. I mean, it didn't come from God. It just came from the negative stale energy that morphed into a creature. Now, he doesn't do anything but cause havoc. I mean, this creature isn't going to um, eat you alive in your sleep, but he's only going to feed into the low vibration.
exactly. And with that quick thought, we're going to take a very quick commercial break and we'll be right
Okay.
back right after these messages. Stay tuned, everybody.
All right. Is everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo!
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back with my very special guest, Jocelyn Paris. Yay!
Yay.
Cheers. So a lot of
Um,
people ask me, they're like, okay, we don't see things, but how do we know if we do have a spirit?
um, okay, you want the long version or the short version?
Long
uh,
version.
in essence, as humans, because of our technology and because of social media, television, all these other distractions that we have become desynthesized. Okay. So you talk about like the Native Americans, and it talks about how they were able to sense things. That's because they were very simple people. So to to tell people, if you want to be able to sense a spirit, that learn to meditate. And I don't mean like the old fashioned om hippie thing, but it's just a matter of sitting. You know, you train yourself for a little while just to sit still, focus on your breath. A thought comes, you just let it go. No big deal. And after a while, then you can start saying, what do I feel? What do I sense? And when you do that, some of it comes naturally or easier, let me say. But when you do that, then you can start to feel the energy standing next to you. Um, I did an investigation in the old courthouse in Baton Rouge, and I was in this auditorium by myself, and I'm a scaredy cat. That's the funny thing about all of this. I'm scared of the dark, and I'm a scaredy cat.
No
So,
way.
yes, ma'am. Um, so it's a personal challenge for me. And I'm sitting in this auditorium, and I said, I can sense somebody here. And it's almost if somebody holds a towel next to you that has static electricity in it, you know, you can sense that there. And so I could sense him standing there.
Yeah.
And now, when I say I had a conversation with him, I don't mean it was this simple, but I asked him, you know, what is your name? And so I thought he said Ed. So I kept saying, okay, Ed, okay, Ed. And when we listened to the tapes later, when I asked, what is your name? He said, Edward Dupree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So to be able to sense them, then pay attention. How do you feel? How does that make your emotions feel? Do you feel scared? Then it's time to tell them, if you're not from the light, you don't belong here. But if they make you feel good, they can still be a trickster. But um, you still say if you're not from the light, but then you can kind of welcome that. And sometimes your spirits can, people have developed relationships with their house spirits where these spirits have protected their homes, you
Yes,
know?
the house guardians, exactly.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of becoming more sensitive, which is not hard to do. It just takes practice, a little bit of time and practice. Some of us are more natural than others.
You want to hear a crazy story?
Of course. Of course.
So next door we have this elder couple, and so he kept telling me, I see this lady looks exactly like my wife. So okay, we know that spirits can manifest to different people, and so my daughter was in the backyard, and she goes, Mom, I just saw the lady, the neighbor. I just saw her head floating in our yard, spirit look. So I was like, are you sure? That I was thinking, oh my God, maybe she passed away because they're older. So she said the only difference is she was wearing black glasses. And I know she doesn't, from what I know, she doesn't wear glasses. So I was looking out the window because they're right next door. And then I saw her come out there. I go, well, she's not dead. So isn't that crazy? So I know
Yeah.
she's a twin. So why is a lookalike exactly her face, like floating?
Yeah. A doppelganger.
Yeah.
But it would take me a minute to tap in. I'm not sure why a doppelganger would do something like that. You know,
That's really
are
crazy.
do they have a message, or are they just being taunting? You know, are they just taunting the situation?
So those
Um,
spirits could change into us, right? That's
yeah,
scary.
they can look exactly like us. I
Really?
have had a situation. Yeah, I have had a situation. Now this is many years ago. I don't remember the details, but I was in my first house, and I swear my husband had walked in, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he just walked out the door. No big deal. Well, whatever. And then he comes in through the back door. I'm like, "What are you doing? You just went through the garage." He said, "No, I didn't. I was outside mowing."
Isn't that crazy?
Who was that? Why was that? Was that, I don't know anything about him, but was that a parallel universe that overlapped at that moment? Was that maybe a glitch in time and we backed up for a few minutes when he did go through that door earlier? I don't know.
Wow.
And then, of course, you just kind of question yourself. You said, well, maybe, maybe I was too distracted and I wasn't paying attention and some time passed.
Isn't that crazy? A quick hello to Melissa. Thank you, Melissa, for tuning in.
Hi, all.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, so I don't know why her husband keeps seeing her look-alike, and it's not her. And I don't know why. So when I went to their house, they have a huge mirror. So maybe it's from another portal. I don't know.
Could be.
And
Could
the
be.
mirror is heading into my house because we have attached houses. So
Oh, ask him to move that mirror and face it the other way on the other wall.
exactly. I told him, take that mirror out. We don't want no cooties coming in.
Nope.
Yeah, because
No
I'm
strange
telling
spirits.
you, that is not a nice spirit. Because yesterday I was trying to sleep and I felt all this anger. And I'm like, I know that's not me. So I had to sleep with my selenite and do like a clearing.
Oh yeah. Salt your house too. For whatever reasons this comes to me, but at all four corners of your house, bury a whole clove of garlic, a penny, and salt at all four corners to help protect you. And then of course you're going to visualize, a fence or a bubble or whatever protecting that whole house to keep that thing out. But especially salt your doors.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Keep it away from your daughter.
Should I put black salt or regular?
I think regular salt in that situation would just to keep them out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Or away. Don't throw too much on the yard. You might kill your lawn. Honey, why is everything dead? Oh, I salted it this morning.
That is so funny. I don't know. It's just crazy. And I know that these houses do have attachments. We saw it. It has a hat. He's not a nice spirit. He leaves because I do cleansings a lot, but he visits them next door a lot. So it's pretty creepy.
Yeah, just attached to the, sometimes we think they're attached to the house, but they can be attached to the land.
Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. Many years ago, that was all just land, and it may have belonged to someone.
And this question I get a lot. They're like, okay, if I move, do they follow me? The spirits.
That would, if it's attached to the house, most likely not.
Right.
But if it's attached to your furniture or even you, sometimes it can get attached to that person. But if it's a house haunting, no, I don't think it would follow you.
Exactly. Yeah, residual energies, all different kinds of energy. And you're right, the different frequencies, they might overlap, but it's just pretty crazy. I have another story now.
Oh, good.
I know this little girl, she was so cute. She was looking in the mirror. She was getting ready to go to sleep. She was brushing her teeth. So she's like smiling at herself, but the one in the mirror was not smiling.
No.
Yeah, so she was going, and it was her, but not moving. So she went, ah! She started running. So she said, what was that? So yeah, mirrors are portals. So you have to be careful, at night especially.
Mm-hmm.
They come.
Have you ever heard, this is a little off the subject, but speaking of spooky, when you were a kid, did y'all ever play Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary?
Yeah, crazy.
Your face.
We played Ouija board.
That too, dummies. I specifically remember as a child playing with my two cousins, and I saw it. And to this day, I don't know if I really saw a being or if my overactive imagination, but I saw something. I saw a face,
I
and
believe you did.
I lost it.
Yes, I don't blame you.
That's the fastest I ever busted out of a room. But I remember seeing a face. And of course, they're like, oh, you're making it up. You're making it up. And it made me feel worse because then I had to question myself. But I know I saw it. I don't know if it was actually her, but I saw something.
Yeah, you definitely did. Those things are like opening up the front door and letting anything in.
I know. Why would you teach a child to play that?
Yes, exactly. I was forced into it, and then I felt like I was gonna lose my mind. Something bad was gonna happen. I didn't like it at all. And they were like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
we were
come
raised.
on." Yeah.
We had a Ouija board in our house all of our life. It was bought as a game. I don't ever remember my sisters and them playing it, but that was always in our house. But our house was also fairly haunted. The one that we grew up in.
Do you know
We're out
that?
in the country, and I think it was a Native American plot at one time.
Wow.
So,
Do you know that the Ouija boards you can't get rid of? Like you can try to, and they appear. I have my older sister. She tried throwing it out, and they appeared in her closet. So then they told her. They said, "Well, just bring it to church." She goes, "Yeah, it's like bringing the you know who into the church." And then
yeah,
no way. I don't know how she got rid of it, but she found the real ones, the ones that are very heavy in a very haunted house.
yeah, they're still made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were made of wood at one point.
You okay? Drink water, sweetie. So yeah, she was very scared, and she's like, "I can't get rid of it." I was like, "So don't play with it. Just leave it there then." I don't know. I never asked what she did with it, but I know one of them she did get rid of. She said it brought her a whole bunch of bad luck.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Somebody had brought me one when we were in college, and for whatever reasons, whoever lived in my dorm room had put a red light bulb right at the entrance instead of a white one. Right, they put a red bulb in there. Well, one day I flick it on, flick it off. Bulb burned out. I'm too cheap. I'm not going to go buy another bulb for the dorm, right? And so insert a big convoluted story about playing with that Ouija board. And one day I decided that's it. I'm going to go burn it. I got to get rid of it because it's not good. And I opened my closet, which is in that little corridor, opened the closet, and the moment my hand touched that Ouija board, that red light came on.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
I am not kidding. And I mean, I had tried that light 100 times. It wouldn't come on. And so since we're just telling crazy stories, take it to the park. I take it to the local park, and I find one of those metal barbecue pits that you always find in the park, and lit it on fire, tried to burn it, and drove off. Well, the next day, just out of curiosity, we wanted to see how much it burned. So me and some friends went back, and there was still a fire going.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's
So
very
your rational mind tries to say, oh, well, somebody put some other stuff in there. But why that one out of the 100 pits that were in the park? So I don't mess with them anymore.
exactly. I don't blame you. That's very scary. I had this spiritual lady I used to go to many years ago. She used to tell me, if you feel something negative, just take your urine and splash it around the house. I go, yeah, sure. My husband will really love that.
Yeah. I can think of a lot of other things you can do instead of that. Oh, gosh. No way. But,
All right. We're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we'll be right back right after these messages.
okay.
Stay tuned.
All right. everybody having a good time tonight or what? That's what I thought. All right, so we are live, Paradise Studios, New York. Give yourself a round of applause for coming out tonight. Woo!
Hi, I am Linda DeVitis. I am a psychic, clairvoyant medium, and certified healer. I have also written a book, My Journey from Darkness to the Light, which is available on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, and on my website, www.healingsonthego.com. If you would like to book an appointment with me, call me at 917-929-4935. Thank you. Oh no, my camera's going crazy. Welcome back, Jazz Paris.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My screen just went a little bit noodles right now, so I don't know how I'm going to clear this.
That's just a ghost standing in front of the screen.
It is really. I think it is. Let's see how I
just
can
politely ask them, step aside, step aside. Oh, God.
Oh, great.
That is crazy.
Hey, look at
Perfectly
that.
clear a while ago.
Yeah, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on now. But anyway, you know, there's a spirit in here. It's playing with my screen. So tell us more stories, Jazzy, while I try to fix this.
That's okay. That's okay. And they do interfere with things.
Yes,
such as electronics. It's easy for them. Their energy too.
Yeah.
So
tell us another story about your house clearings.
What's that?
Tell me another story
about the house
clearings.
Yes. Let me think. Oh, so the one where the lady had brought all of the old photographs, and you got it. There were things kind of being thrown at us. You know, she had completely moved out except for the photography stuff in the garage. And out of nowhere, this jewelry bead hits me in the head. It falls to the floor, and you hear it on the tile bounce. So you could tell there was something angry in there. And so I go to the window. I'm opening up the window, and I could feel a bunch of Native American spirits. This was kind of out in the country and still a lot of land around it. And so I asked them, you know, can you come help us here? And basically they said, that's not our problem. That's not our job. They didn't want to participate. So that I didn't get enough out of it, but whatever it was, that not even the Native American spirits wanted to be bothered with it. They stayed away.
Wow, that's amazing.
She had, in that house, she had dark visions of the shadow people and all of that, and nightmares.
Wow.
You know, the funny thing when we talk about the whole ghost hunting, when we were really getting into it at one time, we're like, you know, how, quote unquote, how do you capture a ghost? And that's what everybody wants to know.
That's a good question.
How do you capture a ghost? Well, I don't know that you actually can catch like the human spirit kind of ghost, but you've heard of the, what is it called? The Dibut box?
I never heard.
Box? No. They I think there's a couple of them on the black market, and there's a couple shows about people that have bought them just for fun. And when they opened it up, it was just all hell broke loose. Because the history of it is the Germans, when the Jews were being attacked and annihilated, the Jews thought that their God wasn't helping, so they summoned negative energies or beings to try to help the Jews survive this war.
Wow.
And by doing so, then they would encase everything in this little box. And so curious people get the box and they become deathly ill, and and this, that, and the other. So those kind of spirits that are negative, and
Wow.
this is going to sound really crazy, I think you can capture certain kinds, but as with these people, they put it in a box. They shut the box. They did what they could to get it back in the box, and they bury it. There's programs on it. Um, but now you just hope that in 200 years somebody doesn't dig it up and open it again. You know?
Exactly. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I had this lady ask me, she said, so how do I know it's a house spirit or is it someone that's a deceased one since she can't see it? So I was like, feel into it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, feel into it. As I said before, if you're going to feel, I guess to be more specific about the feel thing, you're going to feel with your chest, you're going to feel with your skin, and you're going to feel with your emotions, right?
Exactly.
That's what we do. Well, you and I do it unconsciously because of who we are, what we do. But it's just like when we meet people, that person is coming across as the nicest person, and they're great and they're friendly. And then they leave, and then we go, I don't like that person. And they're like,
Exactly.
well, why not? Why not? And why? Because I didn't feel well with her around.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I have this lady that I see at the
So
school every
I
day.
know a story that
Oh, you got cut off. Sorry, you got cut off. I cut you
that's
off.
okay.
Your voice went off. I thought you finished, but I saw your mouth. I was like, oh no, I cut her off. Sorry, Jess. Go ahead.
No worries. I just in the spirit of Halloween, I wanted you to tell them the story of when we were in
Oh,
Salem.
you poor thing. We had that Dracula running after us. And in
It was,
Salem, the cops don't even do anything. They just look
no,
at
they
you like
didn't.
you're crazy.
They didn't. So we were on like one of the main cobblestone streets, right? And so Maria's like, "Oh, those two guys look creepy," and they were dressed up like, who was
Yes,
it? The guy from
Michael, what's his name?
Halloween,
Michael,
Michael
whatever.
Myers.
Yeah, Michael
Yeah,
Myers.
and I can't remember what the other one was, but one of them had an orange jumpsuit on and all this other stuff, and they did look really creepy.
Yeah.
And so she's like, "Ooh, Maria says, ooh, I don't get a good feeling." And I'm like, whatever. And I stick my head out behind her and I take a picture with my little digital camera. And at the same moment, those two guys stopped and they looked at me. I'm like, oh, this is fun, all in spirit, Then they started running. And for the rest of y'all, they all ditched me. Y'all all ran different directions. Nobody stayed by my side.
We all
I
ran
ran across the street.
I left you, Jazz. I'm sorry. I don't even know what happened.
Y'all did. You, Steve, Maria. Oh my God, everybody
Tony was
was
with you. I thought she was with you.
Hell no, she ran too. So I'm screaming, and of course the crowd has stopped. They think it's some kind of show, and it was not a show on my behalf. And I'm screaming like a banshee. I run to one side of the street, run to the other side. Mind you, the one guy had a knife. Remember that? And then the cop was like, well, was it real? Hell, I don't know. I was scared. I'm not going to stop and ask him, hey, is that real? Do I keep running? And so then I think I saw y'all go into a store. I run into the store and y'all said, hi behind this rack. And we knock off like half the clothes because we all grab the rack at the same time. And about the time I peek over the rack, the guy, the older one, is like this in the window.
He was with his son. I remember that. Yeah.
Yes. And we all started screaming, and the shop owner was like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I said, that guy is really chasing me. I mean, he hasn't stopped. And this is happening for like 5 or 10 minutes, wasn't it? So fortunately, the shopkeeper was nice enough, and he said, go out the back way. Well, you and Steve were gone at this point. Y'all went and found the cops. So y'all walk me to the cops. We go to report it, and the cops just standing there chewing gum like it's no big deal. He's like, well, the knife's not real. They're just having fun. I said, having fun? He came to attack me. I was scared.
Yeah,
So you
they don't.
gave me your mace, right?
Yes, yes.
Now we're going, and it's crowded because it's Halloween, right? And we're going through this crowd of people. Everybody's walking one way, and I see that jerk coming, and he stops and he sees me, and he's coming to walk this way. So I've got your mace, and I pick it up, and Steve grabs my hand. No, Texas! And he knocks the mace out of my hand. I was fixing the mace the dude. I was scared. We had to leave Salem because they wouldn't leave me alone.
Yeah, yeah, it was
I should have
horrible.
taken Maria's advice.
What was that?
Maria was like, well, in the beginning, she said, those guys are creepy. I said, oh, no, they look cool. Click. And that was the beginning of it.
Well,
That was
I thought,
fun.
honestly, you were with Tony, and I thought that she was sticky with you, but I saw her. She goes, hell no, I'm not getting killed. I was like, what happened? And we were like looking for the officers, and then it was just a nightmare. She ran.
Yeah, it was. It was. So I guess I spotted y'all in that store, and that's why I ran in there. Or I spotted you, Maria, or somebody. And then we had to leave because they wouldn't leave us alone. The cop wouldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, in Salem, they think it's a joke. They don't even help you at all, which is very unfortunate.
And I was telling the story the other day, and I thought, the spooky thing about it is they could have had a real knife. They could have done what they wanted to do in front of everybody. Everybody thinks it's an act. By that time, these guys are in the alleyway taking their overalls off, and they're gone. So it was a little too real for me.
I know. And since then, I never went back. It was such a cold, eerie feeling. I never went back after that.
It was. And it was misty, and the everything was wet. I remember that. It was cool, though. And then we went to some cemetery, because I'm not as sensitive as you and Maria, especially when y'all are together and y'all are like, oh, this is so creepy. We need to go. And I'm like, hell no, I came all the way from Texas. I'm going to see this stuff. You remember that?
Yes. I don't blame you. You came from a long way.
Yeah. I ain't leaving. But
yeah, little do you know, they're not friendly.
Yeah. We should go back.
One
we should
day.
go back together. Now that we're older and more mature, I won't run. I won't take pictures.
And watch out for that freaky man. And I remember the officer came, and he's like, that's father and son, and they're not here to hurt you. I was like, well, he scared the hell out of her. I remember me and Steve reporting him.
Yeah. And I turned around and I said, no wonder they call them massholes. And then I thought, oh, I could have got arrested for that.
It was a total nightmare.
Oh.
It was scary. That was a Halloween thing.
It was, right? That's the best Halloween story I have. Golly. They were so in character, and it didn't help that the masks that they had were stoic. There was no expression. But that one guy he had the long, stringy black hair on, and the other one had the orange, spiky, like Michael Myers.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, geez. So, guys, be careful with Salem. They won't if you call the police, they'll just laugh at you and think it's a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my God. Oh,
Exactly.
Boy. So they say, what should I do when I go to a house and it's negative? How should I protect myself when I get home? I'll let you answer. You've done the hocus pocus.
Yeah. Well, I would say that while you're there, if you know that it's negative, you can focus on, and without anybody knowing, you can focus on surrounding yourself with the white light. And even if you don't know what that means or you've never done it before, you're tuning into God and God's energy, and you just imagine yourself in a white bubble, and it's just full of white cleansing light. And you have to have that confidence that you know that it's there the whole time. And when and then of course when you leave the place, you tell everything that's not allowed to go with you, and you say a prayer to protect you on your way home.
Exactly. And some people do something with the dirt. I don't know. I've never heard. I mean, I've heard of it. Like they throw dirt at the door. I don't know, but I never do that. Do you throw?
I've heard of the red dirt where particularly in the South, they use red dirt to, like we use salt to keep the
Oh,
evil spirits out. But I don't know about that one. Um, and the more I watch TikTok and all these homegrown witches that are coming out, the more I realize that it is not necessarily what product you have, it is your intention.
right. That's true.
It's all about your intention. So, if you want to throw gravel on your porch step and use that as you would just imagine that gravel builds a wall of protection or however, then that would work too if you convince yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like what you believe in. Exactly. That's true.
Right. So when you're in that house, it's not hard to believe that God's going to protect you if you've asked him to. It's not hard to believe that when you walked out that door that you can leave that stuff behind. You don't have to take it with you. But unfortunately, a lot of us are curious minded. We're like, let me just see what happens. And then it's too late.
Exactly. It's true. And can you believe we only have a couple minutes? The whole hour flew like water.
No, wow. Dadgummit. Oh, darn.
Too fast. We didn't even get to do any reading or nothing. It was a lot of fun though.
Yes, it was.
You're the best,
Jazzy.
Jazzy. Jazzy's my best buddy. We go back 20-something, 24 years at least.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? And we met online.
Exactly.
We met online through a mutual friend at the time. And then I guess within a year, we all made plans and we flew to Florida first.
Yeah.
And then the next trip was to New York.
Yes. And I only have to go one day to you.
That's right. We've never come to Texas.
I know. One day. But if someone wanted to reach you for a reading, where could they find you?
Let's see. You can find me on Facebook under Jocelyn McCracken Paris. And just send me a private message, and I'd be happy to do so.
Awesome, Jazzy. You're the best. And for everyone knows
You
already,
too.
you can. Thank you. You can find me at healingsonthego.com, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. I'm more on TikTok now.
She's everywhere.
Exactly.
You can find her anywhere.
Exactly. Call me.
Right?
Call me at healingsonthego.com. They're live agents, so it's fun. So they can guide you through the way. Well, thank you so much. If you can't
find her, find me. I'll get you to her.
Yes. Jazzy is awesome. She knows hand reading too, for palm reading. She's awesome. She knows a lot of stuff. So contact her. And thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Jazz, for all your time. You're the best.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always fun.
It is. And I hope you're going to come again soon. Don't be shy now. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great night and stay safe.
Okay. Love you, Linda. Love y'all. Thank you.